Yeah, so Trump just exposed both parties. It's no wonder they want him out so bad. I mean, he's fucking everything up for him. The $600 per person thing that Congress came up with was widely thought of as bullshit. People are starting to finally realize that the government is now in the business of crisis profiteering. I shouldn't say now, they've been in it for a long time, but it's like an arsonist that sells fire insurance, but the insurance has like terrible coverage. Meanwhile, people become desperate and are eventually beat into submission by circumstances that they feel are just beyond their control, which they kind of are. Things have got to be bad if you feel fucked when you get $600 just given to you. There's a certain sect of the government that just wants a welfare state. They just want none of us to work and just all to suck on the teat. It's almost like heartwarming that so many people have seen how terrible socialism actually would be. And I understand, like, that giving $600 or $2,000 or whatever to people is a form of socialism, but this is a situation that is created by the government. It's a special situation. This isn't a I don't want to work, pay my bills type of thing. This is a I want to work and you're not letting me, so what the fuck am I going to do type of thing. And I do think that's different, right? When the bill came to Trump's desk, he said, listen, you got to put at least $2,000 per person on this bad boy, or I'm not signing it. You know, it's funny, like, in his last moments being president, he's holding on to that campaign promise of draining the swamp. This is exactly what he was talking about and exactly what his supporters were hoping he would have been able to do for 4 more years. I digress. The bill had such morbidly necessary things as a $2 billion fund set aside to help waive the 25% match for funeral costs of loved ones that died due to COVID, as well as weird things like restrictions on e-cigs. Be fooled not, my friends. This is not about helping the American people. This is about keeping campaign promises to constituents. And guess when it's easiest to do something like that? When you're holding their livelihood hostage. I mean, honestly, the fuck are you going to do about it? I guess what proponents of pork would say is that all this funding for these programs keeps the infrastructure alive, because otherwise if we just gave everybody all that money, you just see a bunch of PS5s and that's it. Things that aren't necessarily desirable or profitable would just go to the wayside. If we continue to let these institutions and organizations erode, once we roll back to a pre-COVID economy and that skeletal system doesn't exist, what will we do then? It's possible we'll never roll back to that, and that focusing on the future and what is profitable might be the way to go forward. CNN's Chris Cuomo put out a piece on Trump, and in an unusual fashion for them, they left the comment section open. And, of course, they get crucified in the comment section for their bad take. They bet big and lost on this one. And I wouldn't be surprised if we see an instant reversal from CNN in the next coming days.
But it's about the rest of us. And here's the news, okay? It took almost to the end of this tantrum of a presidency, but we now have a moment for this president, an ultimate moment of put up or shut up about being a champion for the American people, okay? The president has just put out a video statement saying he may not sign the relief bill. There are 2 big wants that he has, but the one that matters most is that he says he wants the checks to you to be made bigger. Now, this is something you can't just say. It is not about talking the talk, because every moment you delay, people suffer. You must walk the walk. The Democrats, as you know, always wanted more money in the checks. It is his party and, frankly, Trump's own staff that bargained down the eventual amount. Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the House, Democrat obviously, seized on this truth and issued the challenge that will define the final days of Trump's presidency in terms of what he does for you. Here's her statement, a tweet. Republicans repeatedly refused to say what amount the president wanted for direct checks. At last, the president has agreed to $2,000. Democrats are ready to bring this to the floor this week by unanimous consent. Let's do it. Mr. President, are you ready to walk the walk for the American people? This is a thing that they need more than anything else at a time that they need it more than any other time. It would be a damnable thing to delay relief the way you are right now by not signing and force millions of Americans to suffer, to starve all through the holidays and into the new year if you don't deliver.
Is Trump really the people's champ? All this on the heels of him going on a pardoning spree. Did Trump drop the ball on this? Or was this the ultimate fuck you to an inefficient and uncaring legislative body? Let me know what you think in the comments.